What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about planning group trips, but the money aspects of that. So I have my list here. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I'm excited to go over all of this with you. So first, I want to start with the planner's perspective. First things first, never use a debit card. When you are the planner and you are kind of responsible for just kind of making the heads up plans, it's not the wisest decision to wait until everyone has their money together, just because by then you would have missed whatever deal it is. So an example would be my friends and I were making a trip or planning a trip for 4th of July, and I saw this back in I don't know, February, March, and I didn't want to wait because I knew that if I did, those prices were not going to be the same, especially because we're talking about a holiday. So I went ahead and put my credit card down, but never a debit card, because when people start canceling on you at the last minute, the last thing you want is for your money to be all locked up, and then the 7 to 10 process days, and no. Just do a credit card, and it's a lot easier that way. The next thing I would say is, speaking of cancellations, is to make sure that you go ahead and ask for final payment at least 2 weeks in advance. And even that still isn't going to guarantee that everyone will show. But I think that once you start collecting money and people have put forth their money, that's a little bit more of a sure sign that they are serious about going. So you can put a little bit of faith into that. And it's time to lock it in. Some people will probably end up making some kind of deal, especially if it's a larger group, where it's if you guys decide to cancel after you've given me your 2-week money, at this point I'll have to keep half or whatever. I don't know. And I'm talking large groups. Because people don't seem to understand that when they cancel. I'm going to get to that. Let me not jump ahead. The next thing I would say is to only book the vacation when you've invited everyone that you want to invite and you've gotten an okay from a number of people that you need. So you have a rough of how many rooms or what type of house it is that you would need to book, etc. Also, don't always have a backup plan. That's, I think, really important, because when things go south, not that it would always go south, but if they do go south, there's nothing worse than having your hopes up and having made all these plans just to sit at home and do nothing. So I always say have a backup plan, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about how I do that. But basically, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is to have 2 vacations already planned, if you can, and then make sure that everything is refundable. That's my next point. Make sure that you book something that's always going to be refundable. Do not book anything that's going to be final payment or, final bookings, no refunds, no this, no that. Make sure you also pay attention to the deadlines in the last minute that you can cancel and still get all of your money back. And this varies from different Airbnb offers. This varies with different hotels. This varies with a lot of things. And if you're booking through flights, Kayak and Expedia, or not Expedia, but Kayak and Skyscanner for plane tickets, make sure that you are reading that fine print, because that may not always be refundable, and that's just something that you want to look out for. I know Hotels Tonight is not refundable. I don't think you can book Hotels Tonight that far in advance, and I want to say it's Hotwire, where you tell them how many stars of a hotel or something that is that you want, and they just give you a price and pick something out of that 4 stars. So I don't think those are refundable either. Just be mindful of that. I didn't mean to go on a tangent about what's refundable and what's not. I'm just saying, really read up on what you're doing. The next thing is that you have to keep in mind, the fewer people that you have going, the easier it is to plan a trip, but also the more expensive that it will be. And then with more people, it's the more money you have to chase down and collect, but then also the cheaper that it could possibly be. And I'm gonna jump ahead really quickly and explain to you guys my birthday situation. So let me tell you guys about that. Quick story time. I'm trying to make this as fast as possible. Basically, my birthday's not in January, it's in July, and my friend's birthday is in July too. So since my 22nd birthday or so, we've just started pairing up together and basically booking trips as like a birthday trip. So usually we'll do it more so like mid to late July, and this time I was like, let's just happy birthday everybody, happy birthday Bridget, happy birthday me, happy birthday America. So we were gonna do a whole 4th of July trip and just like put it all together in one. And we had about estimated 5 people that were supposed to start off going, and I saw the deal. I knew I had to get it right then and there or else it would be gone, because we're also talking about a holiday like I mentioned before. One of the girls mentioned that she may or may not be able to go depending on the internship and if she'll be able to get an affordable ticket to come down, yada yada. So I was kind of like, ooh, that kind of sucks, just because she was going to be the factor on if we would need 2 rooms or if we would need 1 room. But based off of the way that she was talking about it, I only booked 1 room because I was almost certain that everyone was not going to go. And then I was kind of trying to get a final count of who all was going, and I got down to 4 people that were for sure going. And then I hadn't seen any money, so that was my fault. I knew better. I was supposed to collect the money right then and there. So one of my friends ends up spending all of the money on a whole different situation than the trip. So that's another one down. And then the other one had some other things going on that she decided that she could not go. So if this was on my debit card, y'all, I would have been screwed. It would have been worst birthday trip ever. So I knew from jump, and I didn't tell my friends that I already did this, but me and my friend with the same birthday or same birthday month, I told her when we were booking this trip, I said, plan to run this trip as if it was just me and you going. I said, it's not so much that I don't trust the other girls that are gonna go, but I know that me and her are always for sure gonna go. And I told her up front, I said, let's just kind of see them coming as a bonus as far as knocking the price down. And so we were just prepared to split it down the middle either way. And that's pretty much what it's come to. So within the next couple of weeks or whatever, we'll be setting sail, you know, for our birthday trip. And that sucks, but that's just something that happens. And what I want to really drive home is that, you know, this all comes with experience. And each year I'm getting a little bit better, a little bit more in tune of who's really gonna go, who's not gonna go, that type of thing. And I'm able to make backup decisions that are smarter, that will combat what it is that I think I'm gonna do, but I'm not 100% sure that I will be able to do. So that's just something, that's my story basically. And now I want to talk about, not from the planner's perspective, but from the yeah girl I'll go perspective, because I think that some people really don't take into consideration what they're canceling at the last minute really does to a trip that's been planned for months, for some people even a year or more. Okay, so for one, I think it's fair to say that we all know somebody who has been, oh yeah, I'm gonna come through, pull through, I'm coming, and they know for fact right then and there that they're not going to go. Those by far are the most frustrating people to make plans with. It's never, you know, they use adjectives that are so definitely and for sure and wouldn't miss it, you know, and they would miss it. They would miss it for the world. That all of that is a bunch of rah-rah that they're, you know, jamming here. The problem here is that when people do stuff like that, I don't know why. I can't really say why. I think maybe it's just to feel like they have plans. Can't say. I don't do it. And then on the flip hand, people don't think about, you just wasted so much time. You know, somebody else could have been recruited or invited for that, you know, trip or whatever. And then also they don't think about the person's money that's being locked up, or everyone else's money who is now going to go up because that person decides to cancel at the last minute. So now you're probably cutting into people's spending money, or more people will actually bow out because of that. The other thing I would say is that if you are one that's not sure if you can go or not, be honest with yourself and be honest with your planner. Like, just be transparent. The more that you communicate, the better in that type of situation. And then I said also keep in mind that the arrangements are made around who's all going. And that goes back to what I was saying about the one girl who would be the deciding factor and if I needed 2 hotel rooms or if I needed 1 hotel room. And that also plays a huge part in how much everyone's going to have to spend, because 2 hotel rooms is going to be a drastic difference in price than 1. The other thing is, I would say as soon as you know you can't make it, say something immediately. Don't hold on to that information. Say it as soon as you know. And my other thing is that if you are one who's guilty of doing a lot of these things or not being proactive to kind of save yourself, just keep in mind that come down the line, if that same person is, you know, planning a trip, don't be surprised if you're not on that invite list. You have to be considerate about the time and the money and other people's money that's going into this. So just be a responsible guest or invitee, if you will, when you are talking about canceling or whatever. The other thing, back to my planner, hey girl, is just that I don't want to leave this on a negative note. First of all, this whole video, I don't want to leave it on a negative note. This stuff is bound to happen to everybody. It's happened to me a number of times, and it's still gonna happen. I mean, this is just, I think, a part of the age group, and even not just for my age group. By the time I'm 30, I imagine someone has something to do with their kid, so no, they can't go. By the time that they're 50 and plus, it's probably, you know, somebody's sick, or you know, they had something else that popped up, or an emergency or whatever. And some people, things just happen that everybody can't go, and that's fine. But just don't get too down on yourself when things don't go as you plan, because they never do. Write it out, plan as best you can for plan B, plan C, plan D, even if you have to. And don't let anyone rain on your parade. Don't let anyone rain on your parade. Have a great time on your trip, your backup trip, your second backup trip, whatever it is. And make sure you take note of what's happening so that the next time you'll be prepared to combat people who cancel at the last minute. This brings me to the end of the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment them below. I'll be happy to answer. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.